up, y'all? We are back with another Stranger Things Season 5 video. This is a good one. Before we get started, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps. And make sure you're subscribed because that also helps. So to get into it, I want to talk a little bit about Max Mayfield, 11, and Will Byers and what could happen in Season 5. What is, possibly likely to happen. So to get into it, we know how we left off with Season 4 and everything with Max Mayfield being in a coma. Luke is trying to still keep her, alive, consciously and stuff like that. Her friends coming and visit her and stuff like that. She's not making any movements and things like that. And as we push forward through Season 5, seeing some behind the scenes of filming, we see, a couple shots of Max Mayfield behind the scenes, with a hospital gown on and things like that. And it makes things very interesting for me because it almost seems, to be that we have to question Max Mayfield screen time. She's still in the gown and things like that. A lot of people said they will be highly upset if Max Mayfield's character is on bed rest almost like the whole last season. But I'm gonna tell you guys what I think is going to happen. We're going to get best of both worlds. Yes, I think Max Mayfield, a lot of her screen time can potentially be in this bed, but I have a feeling that 11 and Max are going to be on the screen a lot together. Let me tell you why. So remember how it was with the vanishing of Will Byers and stuff like that? But he was actually captured. It wasn't no vessel or a shell of a body left around for real. But Max is in the hospital. So I think she's going to be mentally and consciously stuck in Vecna's world. Like he's going to be just making her possibly like a slave or something like that. You know what I mean? Just torturing her and things like that. And I think that she's going to just be stuck in that world where he had her up on the vines and everything was going across her neck. I think that's going to be a lot of the scenes with Max, but it's going to come to a time where they're trying to figure out how to get to Max and, contact Max and stuff like that. And we all know how that's going to happen with 11. I think they're going to have to do that pool thing, the pool formula, when they put her in the pool and stuff like that. But it's not going to be as easy as it usually is because Vecna, he's very powerful at this point. So I think we're going to have to see 11 actually save Max from this curse or whatever you want to call it she's stuck in with Vecna. She's going to have to go in there literally and save Max. Possibly, when we see this happen, then we can see her get off screen and she's healed and stuff like that, and she's back with the group and the kids and Hawkins. But I can definitely see, scenes with 11 being guided, towards Max. Maybe some of the other kids are watching Max's body in the hospital bed to make sure everything is going well. But I definitely see, the first couple episodes, she's still not doing well, possibly. I will be, maybe it could be, it kicks up and she's doing well. It's like a little time jump. Hey, Max, she's recovering well and stuff like that. I mean, it could happen like that where Max is actually recovering, but she's still going into these like trances when she kind of takes naps and stuff. She still's not healed, she still has like body aches and stuff like that, and she can't fully like move really and things. So it could be that she's like, sometimes she becomes conscious and talks to Lucas and stuff. Maybe she's warning Lucas and Mike and 11 and everyone like, hey, lately I've been having these crazy thoughts and everything, and in my dreams I've been seeing him, I've been seeing Vecna and stuff like that. And I think that could potentially happen. Or like I said, she doesn't wake up and she's just completely stuck in this trance with Vecna, and she's stuck trying to find a way out, running in loops and seeing a lot of things that happen in Hawkins. You know how it goes. I definitely think that can happen. But to push through with it, I also talked about Will Byers in the previous video, but I didn't bring up this really, but I want to kind of talk about this a little more with Will Byers, being connected still to Vecna and stuff like that. And it's speculation and theories out there where people are saying the whole time they think Will Byers was the enemy. He was the eyes. He was like basically keeping Vecna updated and kind of just being the eyes, and Vecna could see through Will and stuff like that, which I think is actually true. I think Vecna and Will has something going on lightly, where it's not like he's completely, a traitor through like season 1, 2, and 3. I don't think it was like that. I think it was something he couldn't control. Will had no choice but to be a puppet for Vecna. You know what I'm saying? He just had no choice. He was already, coming out the upside down, and he was injured and still recovering. So he had no choice but to still be a puppet. You remember he was throwing up in a sink and everything. Everything just makes sense. But to push forward, I think in season 4, it's going to be to the point where Will Byers actually is announced a traitor. Like, he's a traitor. He's trying to hurt He's trying to hurt Mike. He's trying to hurt 11. He's trying to, you know what I'm saying? He's on teams with Vecna because when you sit here and think about it, a lot of people have been pulling away. That's the way at least they're writing it. You know, we talked about the Surfer's Boy Van scene with Mike, and we talked about how he's saying, yeah, since you returned and came back, we haven't even hung. You just been around 11 the whole time. He's like, dude, she's my girlfriend. So the stuff is still going on, and everyone has their separate lives while Will Byers is trying to kind of get the group together, and they have fun and rock out and things like that. And then even at the end of season 4, he's still rubbing his neck. So I feel like when you sit here and think about it, he might be left with no choice but to go on Vecna's side. You know, even though he might really don't want to, but he might just get converted over with nobody watching him, no help or anything, and whole time he's like causing issues. Like maybe he's getting converted over to like Vecna, and you know, he's one of Vecna's partners and stuff like that. I can really see that happening. And then, you know, when we push forward to the end, he might be the one that has to get took out. You know what I'm saying? Will Byers, he might be the sacrifice. He might be the one that gets took out just because he's that much converted onto Vecna's side that, you know, they had to do that. But I mean, that'll be a little brutal ending, but I think someone is definitely passed, and I think it's either Steve Harrington, Will Byers, or 11. And I'm going to talk about 11. So you all, if you follow the channel, you know I love 11. She's my favorite character. To push forward a little bit with this, I think that at first I didn't want to hear it because I didn't want 11 to be the one to have to go, but it definitely makes sense because, you know, technically 11 is like the new one out the group. You know, I mean, Max Mayfield is also, I'm talking about the first new person to enter the group. You know, it was 11. And 11 came with a lot. She came with Papa, the people from the lab. Hell, she came with Vecna. She came with all the problems. 11 came with all the problems. She opened the gate. She did all this. So this would be an easy way to end it. So I don't see them doing this. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe they can kind of put a little bit more detail in to make it be like a big, crazy ending surrounding 11. First off, a lot of people are going to be emotional if 11 checks out. But it seems like, you know, the right thing to do because if 11 is gone, right, I'm not saying that, okay, 11 is gone, poof, she's gone, now all the problems go away, but I'm just saying, like, towards the end, like, her sacrificing herself with Vecna or something like that might be the thing that has to happen because it all started with her and Vecna, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of crazy things going on with season 5. So it all started with the kids also, you know, Mike, Will, Lucas, Dustin. It started with them. Those are the core of the kids. And then it also started, you got to say it starts with both because it also starts with 11 and Vecna. You know, one, when they're in the Rainbow Room, they're going back and forth, and 11 opens the gate. And that's how the Upside Down, the Mind Flare, everything was just brought to Hawkins. You know, it was just created. And it's almost like, you know, that if that would have never happened, they would have never had these problems. And it's not like you got to blame 11 because 11 is their hero. I feel like, you know, a lot of them can't function without 11. That's why they have to find the need to charge her up through the pool. They got to stop what they're doing to make sure she's okay. She's not worn out. They absolutely need 11. And I will not be surprised if, you know, in the end of season 5, when the final act is approaching, I'm pretty sure it's going to be crazy because the Duffers already teased it. They might be forced to work together because there's no 11 now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys see where I'm coming from? Like, I think they're going to change some things, and I think the core of the kids might close it out somehow, some way with their abilities, their talents. You know, the nerd comes out of them and helps them. You know, just maybe the Dungeons and Dragons game might help them. You know what I'm saying? I can see that happen. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. They were playing Dungeons and Dragons in the first part of the season, and then when you sit here and think about it, this whole thing has felt like one big D&D game. If you like sit and just watch, it really seems like one big D&D game with Vecna, how they operate with things, the creatures, the Mind Flare, Demogorgon, Demobats. So I think in the very end, they might just get to this point, and it might be very emotional. It'll be crazy if they show a flashback of him playing like with the dice, like boom, it's like, where's the piece? They're looking for the piece, and it kind of like rewinds to that point. And it's not like they're really going back in time. No, it's like a flashback showing them, you guys gotta end it the way you started it, the D&D game. And they handle the whole situation like Dungeons and Dragons, but not like literally like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it could potentially be something like that where they all have to, they're going to use D&D in the end of this. I don't care what no one's saying. This is my speculation. I feel that in season 5, the core of the kids somehow, somewhere are going to use some type of D&D details to end this off. That's how I feel. I'm not saying, I heard a crazy theory out there, which I don't think that. I think that'll actually be like, I don't know. I don't think it'll work. And I think people will be pissed. It'll take all the excitement away from all the scenes and the seasons where the whole time none of this was real. It was them playing D&D. That doesn't make sense because you got characters like 11, Max Mayfield, Steve Harrington. It just don't make sense. They were there. Now, if they were all playing a game in the basement, that would have made sense. But I think it's going to end like that. Max Mayfield having to get out of Vecna's curse because she's still in there consciously. 11 helps. 11 possibly having to sacrifice herself. Will possibly having to get took out because he's not coming back to the good side or something. Or he's trying to, but he's so stuck and glued in a situation with Vecna that has to happen. That's what I'm thinking that's going to happen. And a lot of people been asking, in the comments, what about Max Mayfield? What you think about Max Mayfield? There's my answer. I think it could go two ways. She can be up and consciously, but still going in and out of Vecna's curse like Will did when he first was, captured and came out the upside down. I think she could be going through that for a couple of episodes, or she's still not conscious and she's stuck in Vecna's curse and 11's trying to help her get out, with the other kids. So that's what I think could potentially happen. Comment down below some of your guys' speculation and what do you think about what we just talked about with Stranger Things season 5. Definitely let me know. We got more videos coming as the season approaches us. Unfortunately, this is the end of the video. I want y'all to hit me up on my social medias at ILIKESCARY on Instagram, ILIKESCARY_ on TikTok, Brandon on Facebook, ILIKESCARY on Twitter, and here you all right there where it says subscribe. Next, we'll click join and become a member of the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Peace, guys.